Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about something that I have been doing for the past few years and show a little haul for you guys. I will tell you my story first and then we'll get to the pretty jewelry. So a couple of years, well, probably 10 years ago, I was about to go to college, just graduated from high school, and I decided that I wanted to gauge my ears. So, being misinformed and not actually going out and trying to educate myself, I was using jewelry from Hot Topic and using acrylic tapers. I was wearing tapers as jewelry. And I did a lot of damage. I was stretching up because normally when they pierce you at a 20 or an 18 gauge. And I had got my ears pierced by a piercing gun, which now that I'm educated and informed, I'm completely against. And that's something that you can just look up for yourself. It's a very, very dangerous method, actually. But, so I decided to start stretching up. And I went from roughly a 20 gauge because the higher the number, the smaller the size. I went from roughly a 20 gauge to probably a 2 in, I'd say probably about a month and a half, something like that, which is way too fast. I remember stretching up like every few weeks, and one time I thought it'd be a great idea to skip sizes, so I skipped from like a 12 to an 8, I believe, and I ended up blowing out my ears, which was horrible. So I left the jewelry in after I did all that damage to my ears, left the jewelry in, and by the next day, my ears were so red and pissed off and swollen that I couldn't even hardly do anything because they hurt so bad. And so I decided to take the jewelry out, and I had just blood and pus just coming out. It was horrible. So I finally decided that maybe I should calm down on stretching up too fast and definitely don't skip sizes. Because something I've actually learned from doing this journey, you cannot go by the gauge. You have to go by millimeter. So fast forward to probably 2 years ago maybe, and I decided to start stretching my ears again. I have no idea how I found this group, but I knew there had to be a better way that wasn't painful. So I found this Facebook group called the Ear Stretching Network, and thank God I did, because I learned the proper way to stretch your ears that is not painful and you're not going to hurt yourself or anything like that. I learned what are good brands of jewelry to purchase, what type of materials are good to have in your ears or just on your body in general. So I joined the group, and I eventually started using their methods to stretch. And everything went very, very well. It probably took me a good 2.5 years to get to my goal size, but my goal size is relatively small, I guess, for the modded community, but to me it's just big enough to where you can tell, but if I want to take them out, then I can. I really have no intentions of going any larger than this. And this is 10 millimeters, or in some cases a 00 for the gauge. Now, the last size that I was in was still a 00 gauge, but there's actually 2 different measurements for 00. There's the 9 millimeter and the 10. So I'm at a 10 now. And yeah. So it's a huge waiting game. It requires you to be very, very patient, but with the methods that they use, a lot of times people I have noticed on the group will say that they can't afford to use really good high quality jewelry. But the method that they use, you can actually, it's a very cost effective method, because basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to use single flared, which I'll show you really quickly what a flare is. So this one is a double flare. So you've got the little lips that come up that hold the earring in your ear so they don't just slide out. These are flares. So a single flare would just go straight back, and then you would typically have to put a little clear or a black O-ring to hold them on your ear. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using single flared glass plugs to stretch up. And you're going to have to find out what gauge your ear is at. Like I said, typically with your everyday ear piercings, it's usually at a 20 or an 18. So you can start at a 16 or you can start at a 14 if that's not too uncomfortable for you. What you're going to do is you're going to just place the jewelry there and leave it for 3 months. Your skin will naturally stretch. So that's where the no pain comes in. This did not hurt whatsoever. It doesn't have to hurt. If you feel pain, you're doing it wrong. If your ear just kind of gets randomly pissed off, there could be something that's going on with what material you're using and things like that. I used to have this right here pierced, and I ended up having to retire it because I found out the jewelry that I was using, the metal was not good. It was not a good quality implant grade jewelry, so I had to retire that, but I do hope to re-pierce that one day. So anyway, you're going to leave your plugs in for 3 months, and then after those 3 months, you can try going the next size up by millimeter, and it's very easy to find your different sizes, especially through different, especially for the modded community, it's really easy to find your sizes in millimeters. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire process, but basically that's what you do. After the 3 months, you can size up. Start the process over. Then after 3 months, you can size up. So, that's really about it. And that's what I did. It was completely painless. I don't have the cat butt look, which often happens if you stretch up too fast. Luckily, my skin recovered very, very well from the blowout that I had gotten 10 years ago. So now I'm just left with really healthy, nice ears. Now you do see they wrinkle just slightly, but that's kind of what happens the bigger you go. But overall, it's just a really nice, my lobes are thick. So I'm really, really happy with the result. In the next video, since I was so long-winded with this one, I will show you guys my jewelry haul. So be sure to look for that next. So I will see you later.